Well, before we get started in tonight's video, more safety reminders from the Tradesman channel. My name is Jim if you are new here. So here we go. Don't weld like me, don't wire like me, don't grind like me, don't wear PPE like me, and for God's sakes, don't forget your gloves. Now we got that out of the way, let's get to the content. Alright, so if you've been here the last couple of videos, we've been working on a guillotine tool, also known as a Smith & Magician. We made quite a heavy version of it for our own use, for larger tools, things like that. I'm not going to cut the dies yet because I kind of trying to get the floor cleaned up and get some of the stuff off the floor that we are tripping on in here so we can continue setting this up. And I'm about to commit total blacksmithing tool sacrilege and do some modifying to this leg vise. So what we have this right here. We have this bracket right here. I don't know if you can see it, but it's cracked right there. It's cracked on the inside. We have to do some welding on that to make it usable. And it's very sloppy on this. Very sloppy. And I don't know if the parts are mismatched. This goes nowhere near to holding it tight, so we're going to be doing a little modifying there. We're not going to weld this piece into there because if I ever want to dismount this vise from there, I want this free. There is a key that goes in there to hold that in, but first things first, what we need to do, we need to repair this. And like I said, this is worn out pretty well in here, so we're going to be doing some grinding on this and we're going to weld it in. Now, that is not something I generally do as a rule. For one, this probably isn't going to weld all that great, but I need it to kind of take up the slop and hold it in place. Somebody's already done some extensive repairs on this. When I open up the jaws, I notice they still work. But looking at it, when I close this up, it looks like somebody may have busted this off, this handle at one time, and they welded a new shaft on. I could be wrong on that, but that's welded on as well. And what I'm thinking, you have a lot of very creative washers installed in here to make up for that longer length. So, I mean, there's some interesting things on here. There's a big brass nut on there. Another brass washer. That looks like plumbing parts, to be quite honest with you. But as long as we take up the slack, that's all that matters. What I can do in the future, I could probably unscrew this all the way and put a regular spacer in there. We'll see what we can do, but right now I just need it to work. So anyway, stay tuned to the menagerie we are about to create. I hope you folks enjoy it. And like I said, this is definitely Blacksmithing Tool Sacrilege 101. This is how you destroy a historical piece of equipment. Fortunately for me, somebody has already done a good bit of destroying, but this was free to me, so I'm not going to complain. So stay tuned. I'll see you on the other side. Here we go. Let's destroy this sumbitch. Well, it's not perfect, but hopefully it'll work. Like I said, it feels wrong to do something like this, but it's one of those things, like I said, I was saying about the anvil, you know, it's function is so much more important to me at this point in the game than stuff that is historically accurate, stuff that looks right all the time. It's more just got to get it so it's workable, usable. I know somewhere there's somebody screaming at the computer screen right now. Oh my God, what are you doing? Well, if it makes you feel any better, I'm screaming with you. Now there it is, folks. There's our destroyed leg vise. It's not destroyed, it's just like I said, I kind of really hate welding on something like that. But unfortunately, like I said, I need this thing to work. Now, those welds may not hold up the greatest because I don't think that's carbon steel. Not the way it ground. I didn't get any of the sparkles off of it that you get with a carbon steel or high carbon steel. But I put enough weld on there and it seemed to penetrate decently. So hopefully there's enough of it on there. We're going to leave it overnight, let it cool down, because when I go to check it again, we should be able to see if those welds split apart or not as that cast cooled off or that iron cooled. So we'll see what happens. Well, I was told by a regular viewer, Dave W. from over in England, he missed the coffee at the end of the videos. So here's my coffee, and I'm going to have some of this right now. You know, as much as I like coffee, could you guys just imagine if I was an alcoholic? It probably wouldn't be very good. But, so that's what we have. We've got that bracket at least repaired and on there decently. Like I said, it is what it is. We got to make it work for us, so we'll do whatever we can. Now, that piece of pipe I have is actually 8-inch steel pipe. So we're going to be, next video out, we're going to be cutting that to length, getting it ready, and see how far we can get building that anvil, or that see how far we can get building that vise stand. More just has to hold it secure from side to side. You have to really be able to reef on it. Now, judging from the condition of that vise, who knows how long that thing's going to last. I see where there's been some repairs and some welding on it before, but like I said, it was free. A friend of mine, it was given to a friend of mine. He gave it to me, so we're going to make use of it and see what develops from there. But we'll see what happens. So we're moving right along. I found some hinges the other night so we can make a door for this forge area, get that in. Keep going with the metal around where we need it. That'll be good. And we'll just keep plugging away. I have some 3x3 angle iron to make legs to weld that piece of pipe onto, and then we can attach that to the floor. We're just going to Tapcon it for now, because I want to make sure that's where I want it. I mean, the layout of this shop could change. I've actually been thinking that exhaust fan pulls so well, I may just decide to move my coal forge under there, slide that bench down a little bit, move the forge under there, and draw that way. It's a lot quieter than this exhaust that I made. And I've got to get well, right here. Found another bearing, so exact same bearing as what I put on top, so we're going to be throwing that in the bottom. That one's never been used. Now, better be getting on that here pretty quick before snow flies. Strips on the seams of all the boards, we're going to be plugging away at those. I'm not going to run the camera much for those, but I'll flash to it once in a while here so you guys who are barn junkies can see the progress we're still kind of making on this. So that's her. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'll see you on the next one.